It sure looks like bulls are super tired. Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com here. Daily market recap for March 26. So like, subscribe, and let's see the charts. We will start with the SPY, of course. Red A on the SPY. We need to see that this yellow zone on the daily needs to hold as support, otherwise we will retest the lower border of this option channel. We are bearish on the 65 minutes, bearish on the 4 hours. We are still bullish on the daily, and on the weekly we will zoom in and we will see we started over inside the yellow zone on the 65, moved sideways all along the day, and then in the last candle, look at this, bulls just gave up. And when bulls are giving up, bears are coming in super strong. Now the 518 needs to hold, otherwise 516 and 515. You remember yesterday's market recap? We talked about that if bulls will fail to hold this area, we will see the same price action we saw over here. We will get to the downside, and here we are halfway through. Now let's see, can we get to the 515 or bulls will take control once again. QQQ, same thing. Holding above the yellow zone on the daily, but bearish on the 65, bearish on the 4 hours, still bullish on the daily and on the weekly. Mixed signals. It looks like bulls of the Qs are also super tired, and here we are at the lower border of this option channel on the 65. This is how it looks, same as the SPY. Moved sideways all through the day on the 65 minutes. Look at this, 5 candles of the 65 minutes inside the yellow zone. Then came the last candle and bulls just gave up. Now the 442 needs to hold together with this lower border of this trend line. Otherwise 440 and 438 to the downside. 2 more trading days for Q1 of 2024, 2 more trading days of March. Two more days of trading days for this week. Friday, market is closed. Dow Jones inside the yellow zone now, the 391 area. The 50% retracement needs to hold, otherwise 390, 388 and 384. Look at these time frames. Look at this table. We are bearish on 3 out of 4 time frames. 65, 4 hours, daily, bearish sentiment. Only the weekly. IWM. Inside the yellow zone. Sideways move on the IWM since February of 27th. We are just moving sideways. Below the 203 we will see 200 and then retesting this lower border of this option channel. Bitcoin continues its way, trying to run away from this yellow zone, trying to get back above the 71,500, and then we will see 73,666 and then all these levels to the upside. Bullish sentiment on all time frames. This is how the Bitcoin looks on the 4 hours. Basically, in the past 2 days, just sideways move. You can see why we need always to zoom in, zoom out to get a better point of view of price action. Look at this sideways move. Already 2 days of sideways move. Break up the 71,400 and then we will see 73,500, 76. Breaking below the 69, below the green line, we will see 68. 500 and then back inside the yellow zone. But for now, bullish sentiment on all time frames on the Bitcoin. Ethereum, bearish on the 4 hours. Let's zoom in and see why. Because we are struggling. Ethereum is struggling to get back above the 3600, to get back above the 3680. This is why the FTI identifies that this area is a super tough resistance. This is why it gives us the sell signal on the 4 hours. It doesn't mean that we need to go short on Ethereum. It just means that for long, if we're not long yet, we need to wait. This is how the Ethereum looks on the daily, still inside the yellow zone, long continuation above the 3700 and then 3850 and 4000. KRE continues sliding down, back inside the yellow zone, then 4760 and 4670. Bearish on all time frames except on the daily. Magnificent 7 bearish on the 65, which means we need to take a look on the 65 minutes. Not surprising, we got the same price action as we saw on the SPY, the same price action we saw on the Qs. We got it here. This is why we got a sell signal on the 65 minutes. We are still bullish on the 4 hours, bullish on the daily, bullish on the weekly, but we need to start thinking about our long positions, managing our risk, maybe tightening up our stop loss. 39 now is the support. SOXX bearish on the 65, bearish on the 4 hours. Let's see on the 4 hours, why are we bearish? Not surprising. Also on the 65 minutes, we will talk about NVDA in just 2 minutes. So like, subscribe, don't go anywhere. We have still didn't talk about Apple, Tesla, NVIDIA, MicroStrategy. So stay with me, don't go anywhere. SOXX, we got ourselves the sell signal and the bearish signal on the 65 and on the 4 hours, simply because we broke below the yellow zone. This is how it looks on the daily. We are inside the yellow zone. The yellow zone is an indecision zone, no trading zone. Once you see the price inside the yellow zone of this FTI, one click away and this FTI could be yours. We have this gap to get filled. Below this gap, retesting the lower border together with the 218 to the downside. Two interesting ETFs that caught my eye is the MSOS, which is the cannabis ETF for US holdings. Long continuation above the 10 area. Look at how the MSOS is holding above the yellow zone. We are bullish on the 65, on the daily, and the weekly. Only on the 4 hours, this bearish will turn into bullish once we will get a close above the 990, and then we will go all the way to 10, 60, 11, 54. The second one is MJ. Also, ETF for cannabis, long holding above the yellow zone, long continuation above the 411 towards 440 and 475. XLF is next. XLF still inside the uptrend channel, but we are bearish on the 4 hours, bearish on the daily. We are still above the yellow zone. Bearish doesn't mean we need to go short. It just means that if we are long, the FTI helps us manage our position, and it means that if we are long, we need to tighten up our long position, tighten up our stop losses. Microsoft is next. Microsoft is going back to retest the yellow zone. Below this yellow zone, we will enter to the 414 and 410. We got ourselves the bearish signal on the 65 and on the 4 hours. Not surprising. 65 minutes, we are in a downtrend since last Friday. On the 4 hours, we broke inside, few days ago, we broke inside to the 4 hours yellow zone. Not surprising, this is why we have mixed signals on Microsoft. Apple, still under the bearish sentiment on all time frames, going back, retesting the 168, and you know what will happen. We are talking about this each and every day. Breaking below the 168, this gap at the 146 finally will get filled. Maybe this is what the bulls needs to give up. Bulls, you need to give up. Then bears will close this gap. Then bulls, you will have the power that you need to bring Apple back up. Meta 1.4% to the downside. Mixed signals, same as Microsoft. And once we have on the Magnificent 7 these mixed signals and Apple is under the bearish land, which means we need to keep our long positions, maybe small size, tighter stop loss. Meta inside the yellow zone, still holding above the lower border of this option channel, breaking below, and this gap, the 470, will get filled. Amazon continues to move sideways, holding above the yellow zone. Let's see, can Amazon hold alone the market? For now, Amazon continues to move sideways, but above the yellow zone. NVDA 2.6% to the downside. Is this the start of the correction? We've all been waiting for NVIDIA to get a better price on NVIDIA. 974, very tough resistance. Now, the 900, the yellow zone, needs to hold. Otherwise, 848, and then this gap at 824 will get filled. This is how it looks on the 65 minutes. Look what happened to NVIDIA. Basically, bulls gave up and NVIDIA went down 2.4%, and the FTI gave us the signal. Look at this. Once NVIDIA broke to the downside, the FTI gave us the signal on the FTI channel in our Discord, Fibonacci-Traders Discord. So if you want to get these kind of signals before and everyone else, and at the start of the move, you should join the Fibonacci-Traders Discord. Tesla went all the way inside the yellow zone, all the way to the 50% retracement, got rejected, went back down. Now this gap needs to get filled, and then you have also this gap over here. You have a gap at the 175, a gap at the 165. Overall, we are still on the weekly bearish sentiment. Daily, we are in a bullish sentiment, but overall, downtrend channel, this is how it looks. Tesla, look inside the 65 minutes, gap up all the way to the downtrend channel, and then slowly went all the way down, retesting the yellow zone of the 65 minutes. Failing to hold the yellow zone, 173 gap will get filled. SMCI is next. SMCI, bullish on the 4 hours, on the daily, on the weekly, but inside the yellow zone. If you're a pattern trader, you need to be careful, because we have left shoulder, head, and here what might be a right shoulder breaking below this area, below the 960, below this lower border of this option channel. We will see 910, 812. Below 812, we are going south. 713 and 650. MicroStrategy continues to push higher and higher, but today's price action with a doji after this bull run, some kind of a pullback, 1684, and maybe back to the 15, will be super healthy. For now, MicroStrategy, as long as Bitcoin will continue up, MicroStrategy continues with it. AMD holding strong above the 172. We are talking about this 172 for several weeks already. This 172 needs to hold. Otherwise, the same price action we saw over here to the upside, we will get to the downside. We are bearish on all time frames on AMD. Below 172, 157, and back to the 137. Netflix holding strong, slowly, each and every day, pushing, trying to push higher and higher, bullish on all time frames. Yes, we are still long on Netflix, and when I say we, I mean Fibonacci Traders Discord. So you need to join us, and then you will see that you will start seeing result almost immediately. Because we have a professional, an elite team, some professionals for options, some professionals for day traders, some professional swing traders. So join the elite team and you will start see result almost immediately. Google, also same as Netflix, holding strong. We got ourselves the bearish signal on the 65 minutes. Not surprising, as what happened to the SPY and the Qs and the Magnificent 7 ETF and the last 65 minutes. But overall, Google is inside an uptrend channel, holding strong above the 147, 148 area. Long continuation above 152 and then 158 and 165. Shopify continues to do just nothing inside the yellow zone, inside the no trading zone. Once you have the FTI on your chart and you see price is inside the yellow zone, and it doesn't matter on which time frame you're trading, the yellow zone is a no trading zone. So I hope you found this video helpful and educational. If so, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and join me every day, 8:29 Eastern Time. We are preparing together for the next trading day. All you need to do is hit the notification bell. Until then, stay safe.